Today on Making Horror, we discuss the art of subtlety. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Making Horror. I'm Ryan Sheets, and today we're going to be talking about how subtlety can increase the scares in your film. With so many mainstream horror movies coming out in Hollywood, it seems that all of them share the same problem: the overuse of jump scares. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to jump scares, only when they're used correctly, but we'll get to that in a little bit. For right now, we're going to talk about the flip end of that, which is subtle scares. A subtle scare is a technique that is slowly creeping its way back into mainstream horror. Some of the best examples that I can think of that do this are James Wan's The Conjuring 2 and Mike Flanagan's Ouija: Origin of Evil. In The Conjuring 2, there's a scene where Billy goes to go get water, and as he's coming back upstairs, he passes through a door frame. And in the frame, you can see Bill Wilkins just sitting there in that chair. There's no loud noises, no accompanying score, just an image of an old man sitting in a chair.
And who are you exactly?
Timothy Frostnipple.
All right.
It's one of those blink and you miss it moments, which makes it that much more terrifying because it makes you question whether or not you actually saw it. What makes it even better is you might be asking yourself, was that intended to be there, or am I just seeing things? Little things like that that get inside of your head and make you start to think make things a little bit more creepy.
What's a girl like you doing in a place like this?
Now, Mike Flanagan's Ouija: Origin of Evil uses a very similar technique. I think this is one of the few films that has come out recently that just doesn't have a lot of jump scares, and that's a good thing.
There he is, in all of his glory. That's him right there, ladies and gentlemen.
All of the scares in this film feel earned. They all land because they're all real. Now, there are jump scares in this film, but they work in a much different way than other jump scares.
All right, Timothy. And what exactly were you doing here tonight?
Look, I was masturbating to ASPCA commercials.
Okay.
It's my thing.
One of the best examples I can think of is when Lena is laying in her bed and her blanket is ripped off of her. There's no music that goes along with it. It's just the sound of the blanket being ripped off of her. For some reason, this makes it that much more scary. Why though? Why does it make it more scary? Because if this were to happen to you in real life, there would be no orchestra, there would be no music. It would be that loud sound and then dead silence. That's what makes it more scary. It's more relatable. If you can relate scares to your audience like this, there's a much better chance that they're going to end up landing.
All right.
Arms of an angel.
No, I'm familiar with the commercials. Yeah,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
But then right after the scene, Mike Flanagan does something that I truly appreciate. As Lena grabs the blanket and goes to lay back down, there's a figure standing in the doorway. No music, nothing. It's dead silent. It's just that figure.
Those eyes.
Right. Yeah. No. Wait. The dogs or Sarah McLachlan's?
Dogs.
Okay.
It's films like these that use scares in a creative way that really end up standing the test of time. Make the scares relatable to the audience. That's what's going to make them scared to go to sleep at night. So where does this fit into horror short films? Because most horror shorts end up following the same pattern. Something creepy happens in the beginning, then the tension is drawn out throughout the entirety of the piece, and then there's a jump scare at the end. So where would this fit in? That middle section is where you need to live, because the more tension that is built up to that final jump scare is going to be what makes that scare worth it in the end. Really take these ideas and put them into your short films in the best way that you can, in the most creative way that you can. Make your scares relatable. If you're going to have jump scares, make them worth it.